Quantum entanglement is perhaps one of the most perplexing yet profoundly transformative phenomena in physics, stretching beyond the grasp of our everyday perceptions. When we confront this enigma, we are not simply analyzing a scientific curiosity, but delving into a reality that challenges the very foundations of individuality, autonomy, and the limits of human comprehension. To understand quantum entanglement is to step beyond the illusion of separateness, to stare into the vast interconnectedness of existence itself. When two particles become entangled, their states become interdependent, regardless of the distance that separates them. If you measure one, the state of the other is instantly determined, as if information between them transcends space. This non-local behavior is not only counterintuitive, but stands in stark contrast to the classical notion of locality, where objects are considered to influence one another only through direct, localized interaction. Now imagine you are not merely a spectator to this entanglement. Consider for a moment that the very fabric of your being may be intertwined with forces, events, and entities far beyond your immediate awareness. This is not a notion to trivialize. Quantum entanglement challenges the axiom that you are a discrete, self-contained entity. In a sense, it confronts you with the possibility that your actions, thoughts, and even your essence may ripple across distant expanses, bound in ways you scarcely comprehend. Yet to embrace this idea is not to surrender autonomy, but rather to recognize a deeper, more intricate form of responsibility. Entanglement insists that the actions of one reverberate across the system, implicating you in a vast web of relations, whether you are conscious of them or not. Quantum mechanics, especially entanglement, refuses to allow you to persist with the illusion that you are isolated in any meaningful sense. Individualism, in the sense that Western philosophy has often extolled, begins to collapse under the weight of entangled phenomena. If the movement of a particle here can instantaneously affect one light years away, how can you assume that your thoughts, actions, and interactions are somehow self-contained? The classical worldview, which most people unconsciously subscribe to, sustains a division between the observer and the observed, between the subject and object. But this is a mirage. In an entangled universe, the very act of observation binds you into the system you are observing. You are, inescapably, part of the unfolding process. And that process is not limited to the mundane interactions you experience daily. Quantum entanglement shows us that at the deepest levels of existence, separateness is an illusion, and your essence cannot be disentangled from the cosmos. This fundamentally transformative realization demands a new form of engagement with reality. You cannot pretend anymore that your decisions only affect yourself, or even just those around you. Instead, you must act with the awareness that your choices could reverberate through a complex, interconnected system that spans the entirety of existence. The observer effect illustrates that the very act of observation collapses the wave function into a definite state. But what does this mean for you? To observe is not passive. Your attention itself is an active participant in reality's unfolding. And when you observe with intent, with focus, you are in fact creating determinate outcomes from a range of possibilities. But entanglement adds another layer. Your observation doesn't just affect you or your immediate vicinity, it can influence entangled systems far removed from you. Picture this: a decision you make, a perspective you hold, a belief you nurture could not only alter your life, but could have implications for someone or something you may never meet in a place you have never been. There's an urgency here, a call for mindfulness. Your conscious intent, your focused attention, has a reach far greater than the immediate physical realm. Entanglement warns you to be aware of where you direct your consciousness, for you are not merely interacting with your own small corner of reality. You are intervening in a web that extends across time and space, altering states, potentials, and outcomes beyond what you can easily fathom. In our macroscopic world, cause precedes effect. You push the door and it swings open. Yet entanglement exhibits an indifference to such linear causality. The state of one particle is instantaneously tied to the state of its counterpart, regardless of how far apart they are or when you measure them. This phenomenon demands that we re-examine our concept of causality itself. If time is not as linear or as straightforward as it appears, what does that mean for you? What does it imply for the stories you tell yourself about past actions and their future consequences? If events can transcend temporal constraints, then your personal narrative is not bound to the past in the way you might think. Perhaps then the future is not a distant horizon that you approach step by step. Instead, the future is entangled with the present in ways you cannot see, and even in ways you cannot fully grasp. You are both the cause and the effect simultaneously, participating in a dynamic, interwoven dance of possibility and actuality. Quantum entanglement also invites a rethinking of consciousness. Is consciousness itself entangled? Are you participating in a vast network of conscious entities where your thoughts are not isolated in the private theater of your mind, but linked, co-influencing with a collective unconscious? Consider this. The same forces that bind particles across the universe may also bind minds, emotions, and intentions. Your thoughts, aspirations, and fears may reverberate through the consciousness of others, resonating with distant minds in ways unseen but felt. If the human brain is entangled with the universe, perhaps every time you think, perceive, or dream, you're sending ripples through this vast entanglement of awareness. This is no small realization. It demands that you transcend the idea that you are a solitary conscious entity in an otherwise inert and lifeless universe. Instead, it beckons you to confront the possibility that your mind is linked to the larger universal mind, a matrix of awareness, intelligence, and possibility that far surpasses your individual experience. And so, in every thought you think, you are participating in the unfolding of consciousness at a universal scale. To recognize your entanglement with the universe is to acknowledge a form of moral responsibility that is far-reaching. If your actions ripple outwards through the entangled fabric of reality, then you must act with awareness and intentionality. This isn't the same as being cautious or calculated in your behavior. It's about understanding that what you do here, now, is felt elsewhere, even in ways you might never understand. Every decision, every intention, every thought becomes part of a larger chain of causality that stretches far beyond you. So the stakes are infinitely higher than you may have previously realized. But this isn't meant to paralyze you, quite the contrary. Entanglement, in its most profound sense, offers you a liberation from the smallness of individual concerns. It empowers you to act not just for yourself, but with the full awareness that you are bound into the larger whole, and that your contributions to this web of existence matter more than you can imagine. To grasp the concept of quantum entanglement is to come face to face with uncertainty. But uncertainty is not the enemy here. It is the fertile ground from which meaning, possibility, and transformation arise. The entangled universe is unpredictable, yes, but it is also full of potentialities. Every interaction, every observation is an invitation to engage with a multiplicity of outcomes. In the face of this uncertainty, what you are left with is not nihilism, but freedom. Freedom to shape, to influence, to become entangled in the most profound and meaningful sense. To embrace entanglement is to recognize that you are not a fixed, static entity, but a dynamic, evolving participant in a grand cosmic dance. So as you stand at the crossroads of your choices, remember you are not alone. You are deeply, intricately connected to everything around you, to forces you can scarcely imagine, and to potentials you have yet to explore. This is your entanglement. This is your invitation to step into a reality far larger, far more mysterious, and far more transformative than you ever thought possible. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the mind-bending world of quantum entanglement. If this video made you question the nature of reality, then you're already on the right path. Remember, you're not just observing the universe. You are intricately connected to it, whether you realize it or not. If you want more transformative content like this, hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and let your mind keep exploring. Until next time, stay curious and stay connected.